All right, what's up, everybody? Hopefully, everybody's having a good night. Yeah, I know I got followers from both car audio and computers. But yeah, so not taking a break from the cardio end, but pretty much I jump back and forth because my two main hobbies are car audio and computers. Extreme overclocking and building custom computers, but more along the lines of extreme overclocking. Um, but on that end, extreme overclocking, I do it on water, so everything I do, anybody can do as long as you put the time and work into it. But with that being said and done, yes, I got the test bench back up and running. Got the 3080 Ti for the Win3 Ultra with the hydrocopper water block. Got everything back up and running. I got the test bench set back up. I will say though that this loop it's a dual loop system, meaning the GPU is on its own loop, CPU is on its own loop. Yes, still running the Z590 Dark Kingpin with the 10900K. My next upgrade, I haven't upgraded anything yet because, for the most part, outside of the GPU, because well, nothing out there has grabbed my eye. But what I am going to be doing is going to be upgrading to the 14900K. Sadly, I highly doubt there's going to be a Kingpin mobile for that socket, which I don't remember the socket off the top of my head, but if there's not, then I'm more than likely going to go back to the Apex motherboards because outside of the Kingpin motherboards for overclocking, those are the best you can get for overclocking. But with that being said, this loop is by far my most technical and or advanced loop I've personally ever built. Loops I've ever built. And I'm going to explain that because they're set up completely different than I've ever set up loops before, and well, that I'm sure most would set up a loop. And I'm not going to explain the CPUN as the CPUN is set up the exact same way the GPUN is, so I'm just going to explain the GPUN. So how it actually works is a GPUN. The pump for the GPUN is actually down there. It's my D5 pump. Same thing back there, but that's a different D5 pump. That D5 pump is the one that's underneath the test bench is the EK Elite. I forgot I forgot the full name of it off the top of my head. But I had two of them. The other one that I had, I wasn't paying attention. I actually stripped off the top of it. And I ended up just throwing it out. So it's whatever. I got my backup D5 pump going, which works just as fine. Now, how the loops work. How the loops work is, well, I got my 80 millimeter rad here and my 60 millimeter rad here. And how they work is this is the inlet for the GPU. This is the outlet. Pretty sure with this series, with the 3000 series, it doesn't matter which side you use for the inlet outlet. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter. But this is the inlet. This is the outlet. If you notice, my inlet's coming out of the radiator, which this is the outlet for the radiator. This is the inlet. Yes, I've got it reversed, which means that the water comes in, goes across the bottom, then up to the top, then out. Then it goes into the GPU, goes through the water block, out of the GPU, into the reservoir, goes across the bottom of the reservoir, right down to the D5 pump, which pumps it back up. Now, in case some of you are wondering about how it works about, because typically you would have your inlet on the top, outlet on the bottom, or vice versa. Yeah, yes, it does hold back flow, but that's where the catch comes into play, where the completely new um, design that I've come up with, which actually works killer, works because the whole point, especially when you're doing extreme overclocking, you make the equipment or the hardware work for you. You don't work for it. Which means in this case, when I turn the AC on, the longer I can keep water in these radiators, the colder it'll get. Hence why the outlet is the inlet for the GPU. The outlet from the radiator is the inlet for the GPU. So what that does is the water comes in the bottom. It's getting held back a little bit by the pressure of the water on the top pushing against it, which means it gets colder on the bottom before it even hits the top, and then it gets even colder on the top. Then it comes right out it shoots directly right into the GPU. So that means the water, it has virtually no time to even start warming up before it smacks the GPU. So it's just straight brute force coldness just pounding on the GPU. Then it goes across the water block and out through the res, and it's just a circle. CPU is set up the exact same way. Hence, why you'll see that my inlet outlet for the GPU are on this side, inlet outlet for the CPU are on this side. Reason being, CPU is over here. Makes more sense to have it all here. So, just gonna be really fast about the explanation of the CPU wise. Yeah, I know I said I wasn't gonna explain it, but be really quick about it. Outlet for the CPU into the CPU, out of the CPU into the res pump combo. Pump res combo to the bottom res, comes out, then shoots right back up into the inlet at the bottom here. Same exact principle, just reverse the radiator. Everything works the exact same way. So that's how that's all set up. The GPU, it does have, the die is slightly lapped, or it's got a light lap on it, and it has liquid metal on it. Same thing with my 10900K. Not too worried about the 10900K because I've actually got a good bin chip, so it's very easy to push. My main focus on this test bench is the GPU. With that being said, if you notice the AC, it's on fan 2, which is medium, just the fan itself. I have actually already modified the AC, so when I turn the AC on, the air conditioner never shuts off. So the AC consistently nonstop thinks that the room is hot, and it needs to run to cool it down, which anybody who knows ACs knows the longer the AC will run, the colder it gets. With that being said, my idle temps, there's my idle temp, which not bad at all. It's actually pretty good, considering the fact of how warm it is in this room right now. Now earlier today it was 77 degrees out, and I will show you. As you see, there's a test bench right there off my Facebook. I had it down to 4C. Yeah, and now it's 77 degrees out earlier today when I did this, and I had the GPU down to 4C. So, but yeah. This 3090 for the Win3 Ultra will be getting shop modded. I'm waiting for a couple things to come in the mail so I can take care of that. And yeah, I'm not really going to be jumping on the list or anything right off the bat, as I'm waiting for wintertime, because if I got that close to sub-zero with 77 degrees out, when wintertime hits, I'm going to hit -0 with ease. So yeah, pretty much that's that. And how this test bench is actually set up is I got it set up to do two different things. One, obviously, if I turn the AC on, I can start doing overclocking, etc., etc. And two, if I don't want to, if I turn the AC completely, or the AC fan completely right off, I got my 3 fans to pull air through the AC, so I can just use it as a regular computer. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. 8 minutes 30 seconds in. Don't know really about anything else I can really say on it, but yeah, so that's it. What I do intend to take and do is this wintertime, well, I don't intend to do it, I'm gonna do it on water like I always do, is I'm gonna take and more than likely time spy, I'm gonna definitely do it. Time spy, I'm gonna take 5th in the world, like I did with the 2080 Ti Kingpin and my 10900K. I'm going to take 5th in the world, and Time Spy Extreme, I'm going to go after 5th. And who knows, maybe I'll jump to Port Royal or something, I don't know. Me, my opinion, I really don't care for Port Royal because I don't care for 4K. There's no demand for it, I just don't care for it. And yeah, Port Royal is a 4K benchmark. So yeah, that's pretty much that. And on that end, we're all set up to start playing in the wintertime, and or maybe do a little bit of something before wintertime. I'm not really going to start going after the list till wintertime, but yeah, we back in the saddle for some more extreme overclocking later.